When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
All right. Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. I am your host, as always, Colleen Biggs, and today it's about acceleration. You guys all know I talk about the fastest path to wealth is speed, and that's not what we're going to talk about today, but we're talking about accelerating your path to success. And I couldn't have a more passionate guest about helping women accelerate their path to success than Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis. She is going to be joining us today. But before we get to the interview with Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, I want to first thank our sponsor, Turning Leaves Recovery. Addictions, negative attachments, and habits that hold us hostage are all seated in a pressure to perform and a reliance on something outside of ourselves to provide peace, joy, comfort, relief, value, validity, and worthiness. Trisha Peridot, the owner and creator of Turning Leaves Recovery Life and Wellness Coaching, is an industry thought leader, a recovery lifestyle enthusiast, a transformational speaker, effective life skill breather. I love that. And a fierce optimist who loves to help change lives. Her passion is really to make life better for the people seeking life recovery, equipping them with the right life skills and helping them set the right aspirations so they can live a life freely and just an amazing personal journey. And her journey has spanned over 30 years of 25 plus of her recovery journey and in-depth degree studies. So we want to encourage you to reach out to Turning Leaves Recovery and Trisha Peridot at www.turningleavesrecovery.com, or you can contact her on her direct line at 805-710-2513. And thank you, Trisha, so much for all of the women and men that you've helped through recovery after addiction and change their lives. And thank you for being a sponsor on today's show. Well, let's talk about another wonderful trailblazer that's changing lives, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, and she's the president and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute, a 22-year Army veteran, an international TEDx speaker, an international bestselling author, toot the horn girl, let's do it, and creator of the online course, Crack the Career Code, Unlock the Amazing Power Within to Lead with Confidence, Charisma, and credibility. We can't forget those triple C's. She's the host of the Success for Women radio TV show, a career strategist, a trainer, and business consultant. She helps women progress in their careers into upper management and executive level positions by providing them with the fast track yet comprehensive toolkit of life skills and ability. She also helps women and female veterans who are transitioning out of the workplace and the military into business entrepreneurship. Dr. Lewis has numerous awards and accolades, and I'll just do one of the ones here. She was selected for 2022 Veteran Champion of the Year. Congratulations, Madeline. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here.
You know, I have to ask you because I have a very clear story and know exactly when in my life I decided I was going to be on a mission to support and empower women to inspire change in others, build unlimited success, and leave a legacy behind. Mm-hmm. When did you know that time was for you, that it was women that you were meant, that God had called you to empower?
Well, I tell you what, when I was in the military, that it started there, I had women coming to me and wanting to know how I was progressing up the ranks. Mm-hmm. And then when I left the military and I was in, corporate America, I was also in civilian federal government, the same thing was happening. As I was progressing up the ranks, I had women coming to me and wanting to know, how are you moving? What's your secret? And, it's amazing because they always say you never know who's watching you. And I did not realize anyone was paying any attention to what I was doing. And these ladies wanted me to help them with their promotion packets. They wanted me to do mock interviews with them. And so for me, I just decided, well, if I have, women coming to me like this and I can help them, why don't I do it on a larger scale? And that's what made me decide to start my business, because that way I felt like I could just open it up to women to come and have a safe place that they can come and share their, their wins, their losses, and just be comfortable doing what they needed to do, or progressing, so to speak, in their careers or even in business. And like I said, you just never know who's watching you. So that's kind of how I got started, because of women coming to me wanting to know how you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah. And well, are you going to tell us any secrets, at least one or two tips that the women out there listening? I know we have a lot of solopreneurs, a lot of women, looking to transition or have already transitioned out of corporate America. I come from corporate America. So climbing the corporate ladder, was something it's very, deep in my soul. Give us a little tip on someone right now that wants to accelerate their path to success. What is one of the number one secrets that they should really focus in on?
Well, I would have to say the number one secret would have to be perseverance. But I'm also going to say this too, because this is what I guess got me to my aha moment when I got laid off back in, I think it was like the end of the 70s, early 80s. I got laid off from a company that I had been with for like 8 years. And when I got laid off, it made me wonder, well, why? I knew it wasn't work performance because all my reviews were good. So I just couldn't figure out what it was. And when I had someone who also worked for that organization, but they had then since left, and they were a big entrepreneur in one of the big hotels. It was in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I went to her and I asked her if we could have lunch. And I told her my situation. And she asked me 2 questions. She says, did you have a mentor? And did you have a sponsor? And I said no to both those questions, because at the time I didn't realize how important that was. And she said, that could have been your problem. She said, because, having those 2 entities in your life or in your career, she said, they could have let you know, one of them could have let you know what was coming down the pike. Hey, they're about to do layoffs. You might want to move from this division to that division. And the reason why is because there were people that came in after me that didn't get laid off, but they weren't, like she said, in my division. And so she said, when you have these 2 people, your sponsor and your mentor, they can kind of see things that's coming down the pike. They can also see things in you that you don't see. That's right. And so I would say the first important thing would be perseverance, because you always want to make sure that, you persevere, you don't give up on yourself, you don't doubt yourself, you don't lose faith in yourself. But also in your career, for those of you that think it's not important to have a mentor and a sponsor, definitely make sure that you put those 2 things in your, not on your bucket list, put them in everything that you do as you're moving up the career ladder.
So for those of you not watching the video right now, the minute she said those 2 words, my face lit up, because not a lot of people know what a sponsor and a mentor is. And I have spent years still as an entrepreneur going back into corporate America in several groups, the Connects groups I'm in, and they have me coming on as keynote speaker. They have me lead a lot of their women in action groups, because they are forming and creating mentors and sponsorships. Absolutely. And many people don't know the difference. And I think I had a mentor and a sponsor. And I think it's very important that we talk about the difference and why, even as someone is an entrepreneur, you can have a mentor and a sponsor just as easily as you can in corporate America. So let's dive into that really quick, Madeline, and talk to them about what that is, because we've talked about the importance of it. You know what's coming down the pike, right? Someone that can be the vote for you in the room that you're not in, and someone that can see things in you that you don't see, and that can teach you, right? There's a lot of mentoring that goes on there. So let's talk about the difference between the 2.
Well, the mentor, as you said, and like I was saying, that mentor can guide you because you want the mentor to be someone who's doing the thing that you want to do. So that's how you would look for your mentor. That's how you would pick your mentor. And don't be afraid to approach someone that you may not even know and to ask them to be a mentor. But also don't get upset if they say no, because sometimes some people just don't want to do it or they don't want to take on that responsibility. But a mentor is someone that can lead you and guide you through your career. Again, like I said, they may see something in you that you don't see. They may see a position that opened up that you saw too, but you didn't think you were qualified for it. You didn't think you had what it takes to apply for that position. But because they've been working with you, because they know you, they will tell you, oh yes, I think that would be a good fit for you. Here's what I think that, you can do, or here's some things that you can work on that to get you where you're trying to go. Now that the sponsor is the person, as Colleen said, that's the person that will speak for you when you're not in the room. They always say you need, even in the interview panel, they have conversations before you get in the room and they have conversations after you leave the room. So you need to have an advocate in that room that's speaking up for you to say, oh yeah, you really want to have her on your team because she's a go-getter. She's a hard charger. You want someone that will be able to say positive things about you. And trust me when I say they have these conversations, because I've been on interview boards. So I know they have these conversations.
Drop your ego at the door. Just what you say in the interview doesn't get you the job. Just know that for sure.
It does not. And even down to your appearance, your image and everything. Yeah. I mean, I've been on a panel where they talked about someone walking into an interview and not having on a necktie. Did not have on a tie. I'm sitting there thinking, wow.
Was that important? Yeah.
Yes. But that's something that they felt, was important enough that person should have taken the time to come into that interview with that level of professionalism. So, and that's why you have to, be aware of these things. And with your mentor and your sponsor, those are the two people that can really help you and guide you through your career going up that ladder.
Yes. Yeah, I went straight to the CEO. He was my mentor. I was like, you're doing what I want to do. And at the time, it never really connected for me, Madeline, until I was an entrepreneur. He knew what was coming down in the company.
There you go.
He was like way future. And he was preparing me, I believe, because he knew I had this itch. And I really, truly, to this day, I give him so much accolades in the books I write. I'm still connected with him today. I still look for his advice today and call him. He knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur someday. And he was training me and mentoring me to be an entrepreneur. And my actual boss was my sponsor. He went to bat for me every moment possible to get me where I needed to go in positions that I needed to be in, no matter what. And they, they looked to him for advice. So it was a good sponsor for me. So and they were both men. Go figure. I work with only women today. But men are so important in this world to keep, this balance. I really believe that it's not about women taking over the world. It's about women stepping up and realizing their worth, setting their boundaries, and becoming the true leaders in their families and their community.
God, those are the key words. You absolutely hit that nail right on the head. And I always say, as women, we need to show up to rise up. But you also need to remember, like I said, to not doubt yourself, to not, have a lot of us when we, instead of applying for a position, because here's the statistics I'm going to give you. Men will apply for a position when they feel they have 60% of the requirements. Women, they will look at that same position, that same posting, the same requirements, but they will not apply unless they feel they have 100% of the requirements. And that's not because they don't have the requirements. It's because a lot of times they doubt themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing women have to work on, their confidence, an assertiveness, and of course, building support networks like as you do.
Yeah.
Those are the three things I think are very important as far as when you're moving in your career. And when you're looking for and you can have more than one mentor.
Oh, yeah.
You can have more than one, because all through my career, once I got that advice from that friend, you best believe, and from then on, all through my career, even in business, I still have, coaches. I still have advisors. I still have these things in my life, because you can't do it alone.
That's
so
right.
don't ever think that you need to, or you have to. Because again, you're not going to look at yourself the same way, because you're going to look at it and say, I may not be able to do that.
You have blind spots. Yeah,
exactly.
You have blind spots. They're called blind spots for a reason.
Yes. I mean, it's just,
you need someone else to see those blind spots for you. And I tell all my clients, never hire a coach that doesn't have a coach. I have 4.
Oh my goodness.
I tell them never hire a coach that doesn't have a coach. And I love it when I hear my clients out there speaking and running their own podcast, and I hear them say, you should never hire a coach that doesn't have a coach. I have a coach. She has coaches, and they have coaches.
Absolutely.
And if they don't, forget it. Don't ever hire them, because if they think they're done learning and they don't need guidance or mentorship, they're not the right person for you, because then they're going to become stagnant, which means you don't get to continue learning, because as they're learning, you get to continue learning. And that's all about never losing a customer again.
Absolutely.
Because of your continued growth. So you have my heart, number one, because you work with women. You're all about mindset, fear, doubt, helping them really lean into their abilities and talents. And, men, they just have this air of confidence about them, because that same man, and I've used these statistics before, Madeline, the same men that apply for that position will also ask for more money. And a woman is just happy to be paid. Or be in the room. It's like my corporate story when my CEO stopped me this was a previous CEO, not the one that mentored me, stopped me at the door when I finally got to the director level where I was going to make a difference in the company and I could use my voice for change for the future. He stopped me at the door and said, "You're not to say a word in this meeting." And at the time, well, now I would have said, shove the job where, and see you, bye, I quit. But I didn't then, because I didn't have the confidence back then that I have today, discovering who I am, my skills, my talents, my knowledge, my experience, and everything that makes me so amazing today. I didn't know that back then.
Right.
And I didn't have anyone guiding me back then, because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a sponsor that early on in my corporate career. And I was just happy to be in the room. And I say, how many women today, Madeline, are just happy to be in the room, or I'm just so happy that a man loves me. I'm not going to mess up this relationship. I'm just so happy that the women let me into the PTSO and I get to be on the board. I'm not going to shake things up. No, use your voice. God put you on this earth for a purpose, to use your voice for good. And you have something to say, and what you say matters.
Absolutely. I mean, we all, as women, we all have gifts and we have talents, but I always say, who will see them if we don't speak up and get noticed? So and another thing, my philosophy is that, as women, we're the greatest resource on this planet. And so when you think about yourself like that, when you, look at it like that, then there should be no doubt. And if you are a subject matter expert in in your field, you stay up on your industry.
That's right.
Make sure that you're always, like you say, learning, that the different changes that may have taken place that's in your industry. You have to, because you're going to be challenged. Like you're a speaker, I'm a speaker. Whenever you get out in front and audit, you're going to be, someone is going to, challenge you or maybe ask you a question that they think might throw you off. But if you know that then it shouldn't throw you
That's
off.
right.
Because
That's
you
right.
have that knowledge, you've stayed up on your industry.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what someone else thinks, by the way,
Yeah.
and you have your opinions, and your opinions are your opinions. So it doesn't matter what someone else thinks about that opinion. And
Absolutely.
well, let's talk about, you got invited to do a TEDx talk just less than a year ago, just months ago, back in December of
Yes.
2021. Tell us what that experience was like for you.
Oh my goodness. Well, it came from the fact that I had someone on my show, and the lady that was on my show, I guess, we just hit it off, and I invited her to come on the show because I had seen her TEDx talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was just so impressed with it, and I wanted her to come and share, what she had talked about, and again, her feelings about doing it. And in that whole conversation, when she went back, because I did the talk in Canada, she recommended me to come and do a talk there. So my talk was on Show Up to Rise Up. And I'm telling you, it was a journey, because you don't just walk in there and get on the stage and start speaking. They have a format. TED has a format, and they want your talk to be in a certain format, and when they put you through rehearsals before you get on that stage. So you have to, come get there early before the date of your talk. You need to be there in enough time to go through all these rehearsals. And I'm telling you, it really took me out of my comfort zone, and it showed me a different way to even get on the stage and speak. It really did, doing that TED Talk, because of the way that they're set up in their format and how they want you to do your talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What a special moment, for some people, for a speaker, they're like, ooh, man, I made it if I got to TEDx, right? And some are like, I've made it if I, share a stage with someone who's more famous speaker than me, or I've made it if there's 1,000 people in the room. For me, I guess, when I first started speaking, I had been a trainer in corporate America for so long that getting up in front of a room and talking was nothing. And so for me, getting up on stage I don't have a vision of what I've made it of. I just got invited to go to Dallas for the Connects Group Women in Action to be a keynote speaker in April. And they said, we'll have about 400 people there. And my husband was like, whoa, I'll make sure that we get the crew up there, and we'll video everything, and, get some good shots. And I just thought, the 350 or 450 people, I was thinking, I don't know. It didn't hit me at all. It was more or less of who's in the room and what is the message they really need to hear that day. That's what I went to right away. And I just started thinking, God, you're going to show me exactly who's going to be in that room and what I need to say, and guide me to get there, because that's, to me, the most important thing, is that someone walks away with a message. That's why I do these podcasts, Madeline, is because you have a message. So many other women that I interview, even men I bring on my show, have a message, and only a person out there can hear it from you. Exactly. Women today are only hearing the message about fear and doubt and perseverance from you today. And I've probably said it 1,000 times on my podcast. Maybe they can't hear it from me. They're only going to be able to hear that message from you. And you're going to be the one that impresses that upon them to make a change today.
Well, we're going to keep putting that message out there for them to persevere, because as you advocate for women, I advocate for women, because we know that they are capable of doing many things and doing them well. And so that, for me, that's why I do what I do, because I just love seeing women reach their full potential.
I love it when you talked about the resource that we are. My husband says the day that women realize how powerless we are to them is the day they win. And I was like, honey, I already got that. I already realized that. But you're right. I mean, we replenish the earth pretty much, women do. We're having the babies, and there's so much that we have deep within our own power. And again, it's not to overtake a male at all. This
No.
is very much a partnership. And this is very much about individually. Men just have it figured out because they've been providing for
Exactly.
centuries.
Yes, exactly.
And now that many women are becoming single mothers, and that was something that became new in the last 20 years, right? And they're having to provide and take over responsibilities and be in the workplace, and they're starting businesses. My goal, just like yours, is to really help them see how great they are, that their individuality and their uniqueness, skills, experience, knowledge, everything that they're able to do is what makes them so great and so unique that they don't have to be like anyone else. And
absolutely,
the acceleration piece that we talked about today, Madeline, is so important. So ladies, if you do not have a mentor, go find one.
Yes.
I say get a contract in place. Have someone sign something that says, yes, I will talk to you once a month for an hour. I will be honest with you. I will give you the candid feedback. But you don't want someone that's afraid to give you the feedback. You need someone that'll be honest and trustworthy with you on that feedback. Get yourself a sponsor. Find someone that can be in a room advocating for you to be the next speaker on TEDx, for you to, hey, Colleen, I saw this person and they needed a speaker and I immediately thought of you. That's how I get a lot of my keynote speaking. They advocate for me in rooms that I'm not in, even as an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And work with somebody. If you don't believe in yourself and you're struggling with this, don't be embarrassed about it, because I'm telling you right now, Madeline and I both, at every single level of success that we hit, struggle with the exact same thing.
Yes.
Because it becomes another feat, another level, something that's unknown.
Absolutely.
And then we start doubting ourselves. Oh my gosh, now I'm going to be a TEDx speaker. I don't know if I could be as good as all the other TEDx
it's like
speakers.
that little voice in your head goes, well,
you can't do it, girl.
What it takes? What if I fail? What
if they don't like me?
Yes, we get that too.
Yeah, we all do.
We're human.
Yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone. And we all do. First-time mothers and first-time speakers, first-time authors. Who would want to read my book, right? First-time authors. So every time you're out there doing something big and you're getting scared and you have some fears, embrace it, because it means you're growing and you're learning and you're expanding. Now, everyone is already like, okay, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, she is freaking phenomenal. How do I connect with this amazing lady?
Well, they can email me, for one, at info@exwsi.com. And of course, there's always my website. They can go to the website, which is www.exwsi.com. And I'm on all the social media sites. So, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, I'm on all of them.
We've got her out there.
Reach me at any of them, DM me or whatever.
Great. You guys have got to subscribe to her YouTube channel. She has a YouTube channel out there. I've got it at your fingertips. For those of you watching the video on Twitter or on Facebook or on YouTube, you'll be able to go to Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis. Make sure you guys look her up. Is your TEDx talk out there on your YouTube channel?
Yes, it is. I was looking at it just yesterday. I'm almost at 100,000 views.
Can you guys believe it?
Yes.
Crazy.
I'm so excited about that. My goal is to get it to at least 1 million plus women. So
that's wonderful.
To have them to hear that TED Talk.
Yeah. Yes. So ladies, this is a great opportunity for you to get over there. TED Talk is like 15 minutes. So get over there and watch her videos, subscribe to her YouTube channel at Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis. We're going to have all of that there. Follow her on Instagram to get motivation and inspiration, and connect with some of the other followers as well. You never know when you're going to find your next friend, your next mentor, your next sponsor, your next accountability partner, is what we all need. So those are great tips today, Madeline, on how to accelerate your path to success. So thank you so much for being a guest
thank you
on the
for
show
having
today.
me. I truly enjoyed it. It
was really great. Ladies, remember this. You are the only you that has ever been. You are the only you that will ever be. How you accelerate your path to success is up to you. You must give yourself permission today to get outside your comfort zone, to find a mentor, get a sponsor, accelerate your path to success the confident way that you know that you can do that. And if you don't, you need to align yourself and get, download podcasts, just like Dr. Madeline's podcast, get on her Instagram, follow people that inspire you, and start getting rid of the people that don't. Get them out of your life. Stop, unfollow them. You need to surround yourself with people that love you, that care about you. And I'm not talking family. Most of the time it's not them. I'm talking about people that will cheer you on in success in your life, and find that tribe, those women or men that surround you that are there to cheer you on, because those are the ones that are going to make a difference in your life. So Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, everybody, thank you so much for being on our show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are excited that you are here today. And until next time, do not forget, be you and be strong. Until then, bye-bye for now.
We hope you enjoyed our show today, as our guests shared their secrets on designing their life by taking the necessary leaps to expand their influence and attract the right people and clients into their lives. To start these easy steps for yourself, be sure to visit www.colleenbiggs.net/freebies to download the 7 ways to increase your exposure today.